In the 8th year of our marriage, Jerry and I hit a wall. And it was not a wall we could get through by ourselves. When we reached out for help to some very wise counselors, we were taught an abbreviated form of a simple, powerful skill called Listen Incarnationally. The only kind of listening I knew was for the purpose of defending, giving an opinion, or advising. Up to this point, we used a type of machine gun, rapid-fire communication. We finished each other's sentences and didn't have a problem interrupting each other. Listening incarnationally was such a revolutionary experience that it changed not just our marriage, but our relationships with our children, our family and friends, our neighbors, and of course, our church. Everything. The reason this happened is because this type of listening matured our ability to love. David Augsburger, a theologian, said it best. Being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are almost indistinguishable. And Henry Nouwen said, from experience, you know that those who care for you become present to you. When they listen to you. When they speak, you know they speak to you. Their presence is a healing presence because they accept you on your terms, and they encourage you to take your own life seriously. The goal of this skill, Listen Incarnationally, is to listen at a heart level with empathy like Jesus, attuning to the words and nonverbal cues of another person. But since this skill involves speaking as well as listening, we need to talk briefly about how we speak to each other in the new family of Jesus as well.
So let me ask you, how did the family you grew up in speak to one another? This is important because we tend to speak to others the way we were spoken to. For example, my family used sarcasm and had certain facial expressions and tones of voice that were often disrespectful. Since most communication comes through nonverbals, it's easy to understand that no matter what your words say, your heart comes through your tone, facial expressions, and body language. People are going to respond to nonverbals more than your words. In the new family of Jesus, we speak differently, and it's marked by 4 characteristics. We speak respectfully, honestly, clearly, and in a timely fashion. Let's take one at a time. We speak respectfully. To do that, you have to give thought to your words. You can't just blurt them out. Make sure you take the other person's feelings into consideration. Ephesians 4 says to speak in a way that makes it easy for your listener to hear your words. For example, instead of saying, "That's your idea? That's ridiculous," you can say respectfully, "That's your idea? Well, that's interesting. Help me understand it." Secondly, we speak honestly. This is a lot harder than it sounds. But the truth is, you have a right to your feelings and thoughts and to speak them. Instead of speaking dishonestly and saying, "I don't mind if you're late tonight," you say, "Yes, I would mind if you're late, and I'd really appreciate you home for dinner at 6 p.m. Thirdly, we speak clearly. No hinting, beating around the bush, or being too vague. For example, instead of vaguely saying, "You never cook," you can say, "I would really like you to cook 2 nights a week." Or rather than hinting with, "Are you busy on Friday?" you can clearly ask, "Would you be willing to give me a ride to the doctor's on Friday?" And finally, we speak timely. We are aware of when we or the other person are tired, irritated, or short on time. And if necessary, we wait for a better time. We like to summarize it this way. In the new family of Jesus, we do healthy speaking. We speak respectfully, honestly, clearly, and in a timely fashion. Think with me for a moment. In the last few days, when has your speech not been respectful, honest, clear, or timely? Imagine how you could have done it differently. Now let's think about listening together. As you can see on your screen, there is a picture of unhealthy togetherness. It's where we don't respect our differences, and it's hard to see where one person ends and another begins. In unhealthy togetherness, we want or expect the other person to think and feel the way we do about things. And when they don't, we feel threatened. No two human beings are alike. We all have different feelings, different thoughts, fears, and values. In this next picture of healthy togetherness, the individuals understand and respect each other's separateness. They allow one another to have their own thoughts, feelings, fears, and values. This is a critical foundation for being able to listen incarnationally.
A key word to grasp listening incarnationally is the word attunement. Attunement means not just listening to someone's words, but their nonverbals, things like their eyes, facial expressions, their tone of voice, tears, body posture, and the intensity of their words. When we are attuned to a person's words and body language, they feel felt by us. Attunement helps us sift through the facts to get to the feelings. Most of us have been trained to listen simply for information or facts. This kind of listening is different. The prize here is emotional connection, not information. God wired us to receive love by having significant others attune to us. The incarnation of Jesus serves as a beautiful model for this kind of listening. Jesus left his world, he entered our world, he held on to himself, remaining fully God as he became fully human, and then Jesus hung between two worlds. And so in the same way as we listen, we leave our world. We enter another person's world. We hold on to ourselves, and like Jesus, we hang between the other person's world and our own. Now we want to show you a couple of wrong models and then a right model of listening incarnationally.
You guys sick?
Yeah, come on in.
They did the reviews at work today.
Yeah, what happened there?
I got overall performance. I'm below 2% below average on overall performance. And you know the marketing project they had me working on last week?
Yeah, the one you were working on?
They wound up canceling it because they said it wasn't fully developed. So at what point do you just say, this isn't the job I'm supposed to be at? At what point do you say, it's time to move on?
Yeah, I would say follow your heart,
I mean, I don't want to throw away 3 years of my life because I feel like it's, it's difficult, but I also don't want to stay in something where maybe this isn't where I'm supposed to be,
Well, you should take your vacation days before you quit. That might be a good idea.
Okay.
Hey, grab me a Coke, would you?
Hey, Dave.
Hey,
How are ya?
I am good.
Good. I was just heading to lunch and thought that if it's okay with you, I could bounce something off you.
Oh, sure.
So, I've been here for a year and I have that week of vacation time. And, I planned a little trip. Was gonna go to Colorado and get some skiing in and stuff. But the other day, I got a call from my parents and I found out that my mom has cancer. And, at some point, I totally, want to go see her and, travel down there, but I'm just kind of not sure what to do, if I should just, go there right away and cancel my vacation. I just wasn't sure what to do.
Do you want to go? You want to go on vacation? Is that what you really want to do?
Yeah. I mean, I planned it. It'd be fun. I just feel guilty,
How'd you do that? I mean, I was like, if you know what you want to do, then just do it, So, it's good to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
So I was hoping that you would do incarnational listening with me today.
I'd love to.
So the greatest thing impacting me right now is I just found out some really good news today.
Okay, so something good has happened that's impacting you.
Yes. And so I got into this program with one of the top firms on Wall Street, and it's designed for small businesses run by Warren Buffett.
So the good news is that you got into a program sponsored by people on Wall Street and Warren Buffett
Yes.
that helps small businesses.
Yes.
Okay.
So it basically has three components to it. It has an educational component to it. It has a mentorship component to it, as well as access to money.
Okay, and this program has education, mentorship, and funding components.
Right. And it was designed with small businesses in mind to help small businesses grow their business.
Okay, so, and it's designed specifically for people like you that have small businesses to help grow their businesses.
That's right. Towards the end of the interview, I was like, I got to do something. So I basically just went out on a limb and basically said, you guys have to choose me. I really need this. Since I took over my father's small business, I feel like sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm not doing the right things. And I don't know if the other people here today need this, but I really need this. You have to choose me for this program.
Wow, so you were really bold. I mean, you were really bold. I mean, you went out on a limb in that interview and you just directly said to them, because you really had nothing to lose, I need this. I'm trying to grow a small business and I really need this. I don't know if anybody else needs this, but I need this.
Yes, and there was a kind of an immediate shift in tone. I realized that something came to memory from my undergraduate days at NYU.
And so something changed in that realization about this program starting and that you being in it and somehow connected to a memory from NYU.
Yeah, I was in undergraduate sociology class about the family, and I remember my first class, and they were using, she must have said 15 words, there were 15 syllables, and I just had to go in the hallway and go to the bathroom, and I was just sitting there with my hands on my head saying, like, what am I doing here? I'm in over my head, like, I'm in the wrong league, I don't belong here.
Wow, so this program's triggering feelings you had in NYU when you really felt like you were in over your head. That was really a bad feeling.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, I'm just having this fear of inadequacy, like, maybe I don't belong there. Let me give you an example. As I got a chance to meet some of the people from the program, they had amazing ideas, business ideas.
Okay, so the other thing that it was hard for you to sort of take in is as you began to hear other people share their ideas for their businesses, and it sounds like it was intimidating because their ideas were really amazing.
It was very intimidating. I had one gentleman, he made advanced robotic limbs, and they've done things that nobody has ever done with prosthetic limbs.
Wow, so people like the guy with the robotic limbs.
And there was another gentleman who trained Olympic athletes and was a professional athlete himself, and now trains all these athletes, and then there's me.
Okay, so you're hearing the stories of these other businesses, and you're getting more and more intimidated, and maybe even a little demoralized thinking about your own business.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I guess if I had to sum it up, I would say that I'm really excited and hopeful about this opportunity, but at the same time, it's an invitation to really be pushed out of my comfort zone and to a lot of hard work.
Wow. So it's an opportunity, but you're also going to be pushed out of your comfort zone into a lot of hard work. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there more?
No.
No, really? Out of everything you shared, what's the most important thing you would want me to remember?
If the most important thing I'd want you to remember is that is that to a certain degree, that's what life is, right? There's some good things going on, and there are also some the feelings that are associated with that can be good and bad, and so it's balancing all of those tensions together, and to be successful in life.
So the most important thing you want me to remember is life, a lot of life is balancing these tensions of the good and the difficult. And any kind of success is going to take balancing those two things.
You said it better than I was thinking that it came out. That was
Good.
perfect.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you, Josh, for sharing that with me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. Now that you've seen a model of listening incarnationally, let me just mention a couple of things. We know it looks wooden. People note this often when they see it for the first time. But trust me, it's a very different experience when you do it yourself. The structure is meant to provide guardrails to help you listen to the feelings and not just the words. For example, when we were beginners at this skill, I said to Pete, "I felt like you murdered me with your words." And Pete responded, "So you were a little angry with what I said." As you can see, he departed from the structure by changing my words and not feeling the hurt behind them. Following the structure keeps us honest and accurate. Also, listening didn't mean agreement. They weren't trying to solve a problem, but are only listening to empathize and for understanding. Problem solving is another skill. And by the way, research has shown 70% of problems can be solved through listening. That's really significant. So you really want to learn this skill. Notice how the listener didn't get defensive or take things personally. So here's what we would like you to do. In groups of 2, one of you will be the speaker and the other the listener. Then you'll switch. Here are the guidelines. You'll also find them in your workbook. As the listener, give the speaker your full attention. Don't be thinking about your rebuttal. Step into the speaker's shoes and feel what they are feeling. Avoid judging or interpreting. Reflect back as accurately as you can what you heard them say. When you think they are done, ask, "Is there more?" Because many times there is more. When they are done, ask them, "Of everything you have shared, what is the most important thing you want me to remember?" As the speaker, speak in the I. Keep statements brief. And if you are saying too much, the listener can tap you on the knee or the hand to pause you. Stop to let the other person paraphrase. If they didn't hear you correctly, let them know that. Include feelings. It's critical in this skill to be able to distinguish between thoughts and feelings. Many of us say things like, "I feel like going to the movies," or "I feel that children should go to school 12 months a year." But if you use the words like or that after "I feel," then you are not sharing a feeling, but a thought. I'm going to say that again. If you put the word like or that after the word feeling, you're not sharing a feeling, you're sharing a thought. The only word that ought to come after "I feel" is a feeling. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel excited. There's a sheet with feeling words in the appendix. Please use that and have it in front of you when you do this exercise. And remember, be honest, clear, and respectful. Now turn in your workbooks and follow the instructions.